Hey everybody, it's Joy Packard. I am just coming on to say a quick hello. I don't really have anything that I plan to share. I just thought, I'm starting to come on Sundays just to share some Sunday thoughts with you as we end the week and begin another. And so we had an amazing day at church. My husband was actually a speaker in church today, and so he did such a wonderful job and shared some wonderful thoughts. And as I was, coming home, I thought, I love what he shared, and it just inspired me. My husband is an amazing man, and he has a lot of good thoughts, and it just got me to thinking about, as we are coming in on ending 2019, and 2020 is coming upon us, and we have to start preparing. We need to start preparing as to looking back at our year of 2019 and thinking, what was the good, what was the bad, what were some of the things that happened, what were some of the things that I need to improve on, and what can I do better in whatever field or category that we want, such as our health, our finances with our business, our relationships, our presence. I was just reading an article today, and it was talking about the importance of being present. And I don't know about you, but I know when my husband and I go out on a date, I always say, let's put our phones away. I know that, we have our kids and we have people that need us sometimes, but for the most part, as we all know, whenever we are talking to somebody, it's really awesome when you can have that one-on-one, your eye contact with them, and you're talking to them, and you can put your phone away, and you're basically giving them the message of, you are important to me. You are somebody that is, I'm listening to, and what you're saying is important. And, I got to thinking about that, about the importance of being present. And we talk about that so much, right? We talk about how important it is to basically give whoever it is, whether it's your children, whether it is, your spouse, whether it's your friend or whatever, to give them the actual complete moment of whenever you're talking to them, right? Because I know for me, if someone's talking to me and then they start picking up their phone, it's like suddenly the focus shifts to that, right? And that becomes more important than me, right? And so I'm all about me. And so anyway, I think that that's something that not just, it's just something that maybe for 2020, it might be a great goal to put on your goal list, because it's like, if you think about, like I say, how you feel, think about how when you have your kids or whatever, and you're having your conversations, and then, you pick up your phone and you're right in the middle. So being present, that's always such a topic that is something that is super important, and for 2019, that's something that I've been working on quite a long time, since my mother passed away in May, and I'm reading a lot of these posts of some friends of people who have loved ones who they've lost. And I think that we take our days for granted. We take for granted who we have with us. We take for granted what we have. We take for granted the time that we could be spending with them. And as I look back at these Facebook memories that come on that I have with my mother, I'm so glad that, by the way, look at my beautiful earrings from Mexico. I love them so much. I look back at that memory and I'm so glad that I took the time, to go swimming when she wanted to, and to listen to her when she wanted, her cut up pears and things like that. And I'm just look back at that. I'm so thankful, for the opportunity that I had to spend with her. And I just think on a daily basis, as we wake up in the morning, and we all have the same amount of time in the day. We all have 24 hours in the day. And how are we to spend it? And who are we to spend our time with? I think sometimes we get so caught up into, this time of year, the holiday rush. We get caught up into our business. We get caught up into, doing other things. And then we don't put the most important things first. And so, I think that, like I say, just losing my mother this year and my father 2 or 3 years ago, it really put a perspective in my life. And that's why I talk about it so much, about the importance of being present, and the importance of, living your moments, because like I say, my heart's kind of heavy today, because a friend of mine, I consider her an amazing friend because I look up to her, mentor and everything. Her husband was a young man, and he, passed away recently in his battle to cancer. And, we look at these things and we think, everything in your world stops, when something like that happens. I know that when I was like taking care of my mother, and, like everything was focused on her, especially like in hospice days, in the last days, it's like all your focus, all of a sudden, all of these things that you think are important are not even that important anymore, because the focus becomes, that person. And so, I love that song. I don't remember it, but the words have to do with living, basically that this is the last, like, how would it be when if you woke up in the morning and you knew that today was your very last day? There was a talk about that several years ago that really impacted me, because seriously, like, what would you say to people? Would you be kinder? Would you be more loving, more giving? Would you be more of service to other people? It's just like, how different would that be if you knew that when you woke up, that was your last day, that you'd be here on this earth? It's a great question to reflect on. It's a great thing that, especially on a Sunday when you have time. I don't know about you, but, Sundays we kind of like take a break from business. We take a break and we focus on our families, focus on ourselves, about, trying to figure out, how to do the things that we want to do to help us to become the best versions of ourselves, right? And so anyway, I am super excited for 2020. I don't know about you, but there's just so many things in store. And there were so many things that I was trying to get done in 2019 and it didn't happen, right? But that's okay. That's the other thing too, is a lot of times, we make a goal to do something, and then when we don't accomplish it and something else, like, I don't know, a family crisis or something comes into, play or whatever, and then suddenly you have to put that on hold. And that's okay. And it's okay to say, okay, I'm going to get back to it, or I'm just going to not do that because it's too stressful. So this is the time of year that I'm already starting to think about what were the best things about 2019, and what are some things that I can improve on in 2020 that I personally want to, improve on in every category that I want to, right? And so it's just a good time to reflect, because it's already December I don't even know, 14th or so? 15, 16, 17, I think so. 18, 17, 15, right? Anyway, I didn't even look at my calendar, but I'm just saying that, there's just so many things that, as we reflect back on 2019 and then we look into 2020, that we can improve, like in every aspect of our life. And so there's a couple of things that I'm doing in 2020. And I'm, one of the awesome things is I'm actually doing my very first personal development retreat in May, and it's going to be in Mexico. And I'm only going to take like women, and it's only be like 10 to 15 people, and it's going to be amazing. And so, and why do I do that? People are like, well, how come you do these kind of things and stuff? And I think it's because I want to give back, because, there's so many things and people in my life that have helped me through the years. And it's almost kind of like pay it forward, pay it back kind of thing, to where you help other people. And so I'm also going to be speaking at a couple of conferences in January and February. So I didn't even really mean for that to happen, but man, 2020 is already going to start out so amazing, and there's going to be some incredible things. But this is a great time for you to reflect. Grab your journals and look back at your 2019 and look forward to your 2020, and think about, what kind of things can I do to be a better person, to be better in every aspect, to feel healthy. What do I need to change, to feel healthier? What do I need to do to have better relationships if I don't, with my spouse, with my kids, with my friends, with my business coworkers if you work? What do I need to do to spearhead my business, to make sure that it's something that's going to be on autopilot in the years to come? And that's kind of, what a lot of us want. And so there are many things that we can work on. And, it's not going to happen when it's just still here in your head. You got to write it down. You got to think about it, pray about it, look at your year, look at what, like I say, what was successful about it. What were your downfalls? What were some of the things that you're like, okay, I didn't quite get to this, and I want to, for 2020, right? And so 2020, I don't know why, it just seems like such a cool year. It's 2020. And I feel like there are many things that are going to be happening to where lives are going to be changed. And so how can you make that impact? You know, how can you as a person make an impact on bettering the world? And so that's a pretty exciting thought to think about. Anyway, I'm going to rest for a little bit, and you know, my famous Sunday nap, just rest for even 30 minutes and go over my journal and go over the things like what I'm trying to, you know, help with you, and trying to figure out what it is that you are really striving to do, right? Because a goal without a plan is, you know, is a plan that has failed. And you have to, you know, set your goals, set your targets and all that kind of stuff in whatever area. And sometimes, you know, it is overwhelming. Well, a lot of times it's overwhelming, and it's like we don't know where to start. So I always teach my kids, you know, if you don't ever know where to start, you know, like if you're going to clean your room, you start in the corner. And it's just like that in our life, you know, like if we don't know where to begin, maybe like for me, it's my health, right? Because like I want to be around for my kids. I want to be around for my grandkids, and I don't want to age feeling, you know, achy and miserable and stuff like that. And so, you know, I started my keto journey. I'm on day 7. And I think next week is where a lot of magic starts to happen, where you get the energy and all that kind of stuff. But you know, it's kind of like, you know, the very beginning of that journey of my keto journey, it's like you don't feel as good and you don't feel as strong or whatever. And you have to get past that to make it to the next stage. And it's kind of like that in our life, right? That there are many things that we have to do that are hard first before the other stuff starts to happen. So anyway, I hope you guys are having an awesome Sunday. It's so pretty today in San Antonio. It's like low 70s, like the perfect weather. So I'm so about weather, as you guys know. So I hope you guys are getting all your stuff done. It's holiday time, and I know, you know, a lot of us have things that we have to do. The kids get off school next week and things like that. So you guys take care. Just wanted to share with you some of my thoughts while I had them on my mind. So take care. Talk to you soon.